conversation. I think that's the easiest way to intro this video. Originally, I was going to do this video as like a story time, makeup, get ready with me kind of like, kind of situation like I did with my chloroform video, but it just didn't sit right with me with what I'm going to be talking about. So I decided not to do that because it just seemed, because it's a super important topic to talk about, and it is a bit of a heavier topic than what I've talked about before, so I didn't want to like mix that with like doing something fun and that kind of, it just seemed like a weird little conflict. So I decided to do the video anyway because I still think it's important to put it out there, but I just didn't want to do it in the way of like a makeup story time because it just seemed gross. One of the main reasons I wanted to make this video is because with fame being so much more accessible now than it ever has been, with apps like YouTube and TikTok and internet safety being like a huge thing, I kind of wanted to highlight some of the behind the scenes stuff that I've at least experienced when I was a lot younger, and like I guess how that can go really, really bad if you don't have a support network that I was lucky enough to have. It's just kind of that kind of thing. So let's go back like a decade. I hate that. So for some context, I was like 13, 14 and I started doing these acting drama classes because I wanted to be an actress. I saw the stars in my eyes and I wanted to be at the highest of the heights. Granted, from the get-go, this like acting class thing, she was a little bit dodgy, like on reflection. I went there and I'm aware that I'm still pretty and I'm still happy with how I look and I can still look cute and all that kind of stuff, but all of the like masculine features that I possessed in comparison to the other females that were at the class was always amplified, so they really focused on that and made me feel almost ashamed for having such a deep voice as a female, ashamed for like being a little bit more like boy-ish, if that makes sense. Yeah, so like I guess that was always a bit weird to me, and I did get put down a little bit because of it, and I was told a few times that I was just never gonna be like pretty enough for the main roles and all this kind of stuff. And like, even though maybe it's a reality, maybe don't tell a 13, 14-year-old that when they're still trying to figure out who they are and they're going through puberty and high school. It's like, pick your timing, man. So there was always that, and like, I'm not gonna say who the company was because one, I don't have enough money to like deal with being sued, so we're not gonna do that. And they probably burnt everything that like deals with this kind of situation, ha ha ha, because what they did was illegal. So either way, I did these drama classes for ages, and then these drama classes were also a part of like a talent representative company. And the company, after you paid them so much money to do all their classes, when they told you you were good enough, you were able to audition for their books, their roles, so then they could like send you off to auditions because you were a part of their talent, you were one of their people. You paid them all this money and then paid them money to do the audition, and then paid money to be on the books, and then all this kind of stuff. And because like my parents and me had never dived into this thing before, we thought it was kind of normal. In hindsight, maybe it wasn't normal, but either way, so after like doing 2-3 years in their acting classes, they were like, JJ, you are finally good enough to do the audition. I was like, oh, thanks, man. And then I did the audition and they were like, yeah, we'd love to have you on the books. So I was like, oh my gosh, my dreams are finally gonna come true. I'm gonna be famous, I'm gonna be an actress, oh my god, it's gonna be great. I did like a cute little photo shoot so that I could have like my headshots done, so I could give them like the cards and stuff when it came to that. And then they started sending me off for roles. So some of the people were like, yes, we like her headshot, send her for an audition. I got like 2 auditions previous to the one I'm gonna highlight in this story. I got 2 auditions for those. I didn't fit the part. Cool, that's fine. There was lots of people auditioning and some fit the roles more than me, so therefore they got the roles. There is a fly around here. I apologize for the pesky little fly, I'll get it later. Then the 3rd audition that I went for, it was like a short film kind of thing, and I didn't think much of it when I went in. Granted, I was like 15, 16 at the time. I can't remember specifically what I was because my birthday's at the end of the year, so I could have been 16 or I could have, I don't remember which one, but I was 15, 16. Either way, not good, because when the audition came through for the short film, I was given 1 page of the script to like audition for. They stood me in front of a camera, they said the other people's lines, I said my lines, and granted, in the audition, it should have been a red flag to me, but it was like a secretary of this guy and she was being a little bit sexual towards him. But in my head I was like, well, my talent agent isn't gonna send me for stuff that's too provocative. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong because I'm a minor. So I didn't think much of it, and my mum was in a different room, so she didn't see any of it. I didn't show her the script because I was too embarrassed. and I didn't want to make a big scene out of it. So either way, I did well in the audition and they said, please come to the callback. In order for me to go to the callback, they sent through to my agent an email with the full script. And my agent sent it off to me. And then I got the full script. And being 15, 16 and never been intimate with someone else, I read the sheets and I freaked out and I was really concerned because essentially they wanted a scene where my to-be character would have had to have had their G-string pulled up and snapped at their buttocks. And they also put in that there would be a scene where my character would act as though she was giving the male, the boss of the secretary, an erotic moment with her mouth. I think that's the easiest way that I can phrase it. So I read those pages and I got really, really scared and I was terrified to show my mom, and I felt gross that I'd even auditioned for the part as well, because I didn't know, because I was only told by my agent, like, yeah, you've got this audition, go to it, here's the first page of the script. So I wasn't really told like who the character was or what the short film was or what it was about. I like read the whole thing and it was like this short film about like this affair that this boss has with his secretary and his wife murdering him or something. I got up all the courage I had and I went to my mum and I was like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with this, can you like read this? And she read the whole entire thing and she was livid. I'm really, really lucky that I have a mum like I do, because I don't know what I would have done. So she called up my agent straight away and she went like full like protective mama bear mode, and she called them up and she was essentially asking them like, what is this? Why are you sending her for these parts? This is disgusting, this is illegal. And their response was, oh, we told them that she was 21, so it's not our fault that they were gonna give her sexual parts. And my mum was like, no, that's not how that works. You should have fully disclosed who she was and her age so that they wouldn't want to hire her for this, because she's underage and it's illegal. I don't know much of what else happened between them, but all I know is my mum was very, very angry and I left the room because I was terrified, and not my mum, just like I didn't want to be around the situation. It was too much for me to handle. All I know is my mum was going off. I think the agent was also going off. They came to an understanding of she had grounds to like sue him. And he was like, cool, how about we just nullify and void and cancel her contract with us so that she can just leave, and no one from either side talks about this ever again. So you guys get out, we get out. In hindsight, they were terrified that we were gonna sue them or something, which like in hindsight probably should have, but like at the same time, I guess it was like our word against theirs kind of thing. Yeah, super duper fun. And then we called up the director to let them know that we weren't gonna be coming back for the callback, and they were actually kind of disappointed because they were like, oh, we really, really liked her. She was definitely at the top and we were wanting to see what else she had. My mum was like, you've been given some very incredibly false information. She is a minor. She's 16, 15, 16. So what my talent agent was essentially organizing was that it was illegal, and they were horrified. In hindsight, they probably should have checked ID, but like whatever, I guess. Like they really should have checked ID. I didn't even look 18. I looked so baby-faced. This is one of the things that I don't understand. Like, I did not look 21. I'll try and put a picture there. I did not look 21, so I don't understand how they looked at me and they're like, oh yeah, she's definitely gone through puberty. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Whatever, it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. It's a really weird situation that I shouldn't have been put into, and it's just gross. Essentially, that is how my talent agent sent me to an audition that included some adult explicit material, when I was a minor. Very weird, awkward thing that happened to me. But whatever. Learnt from it, grew from it. The reason I wanted to highlight this event of mine is because even though there are some really good talent managers out there, there are some really, really good ones, there's some really great management companies out there, there are still the bad ones, the ones that will just be there because you're a paycheck to them. I understand it's a business, but at the end of the day, you and your physical and mental health, like, it's gotta come first. Like, your well-being is the most important thing to you, or at least it should be. If it isn't, I understand that sometimes that takes work. It's taken me a long time to get here. But essentially, I wanted to give this story so that if people did find themselves in a similar situation, or in a situation where they were made to feel uncomfortable and their boundaries and personal limits were pushed beyond what they should have been, they know that one, they're not alone. It's happened to so many people out there. It's not okay. But also you can still make something of yourself without those kinds of companies. You don't need those kinds of companies to get anywhere. You need the good ones who will put your well-being first to get somewhere, if a talent company is really what you want. I just wanted to make this video so that y'all could, I guess, look out for red flags. They may not be as serious as mine, but still look out for the red flags and look after yourself and look after your own well-being, because at the end of the day, your well-being is the most important thing. And if you're still learning how to make it the most important thing, don't worry, all of us are. All of us are still learning. It's just one of those cute little things. This isn't a super like, oh my gosh, wild kind of story, because I'm so used to story times being like, oh my gosh, and then this happened. And it's like, wow, okay, damn, that's exciting, that's exhilarating. Mine's just kind of like on the like sadder kind of things, I guess. Yeah. But also in highlighting all the sadnesses and stuff, I've definitely learned from the situation. These things, I'm very much a person where it's like you can either let it make you or break you. I decided that with some hard effort and some talking to my childhood psychologist, I was going to let it make me, not break me. So I've learned from the situation, and whilst getting some popularity on TikTok, all of a sudden I had quite a lot of management companies coming out of the woodwork just being like, hi, let's represent you. And I was like, oh gosh, who are you? Excuse me, who are you? And a few of them had some red flags that I've seen before, not to the same like extent, but there was some similarities between those two companies that just rubbed me the wrong way, and I just couldn't do it. So I was like, I'm so sorry, but no. And then there was some who just amazing. They just seemed lovely, definitely were on the same wavelength, definitely had my like well-being and best interests in mind, and didn't really seem to view me as a cash cow, as a paycheck, which is lovely. And I guess this kind of acknowledgement of, for lack of a better phrasing, red flags is important to, I guess, speak about, because there will be a few people who may be too scared to say something, or may not be as lucky as me and may not have the support network that I have, which I know how lucky I am, and I know how like privileged I am to have that, and I'm so grateful, and I never take that for granted. But yeah, so either way, that's essentially everything. I hope I covered everything. I'm not used to doing these kinds of videos. It's very calm for me. I feel very like exposed in a way. Super cute. I didn't even finish a video like this. Like, oh yeah, my talent mate is trying to make me do sex scenes. I'm like, bye guys. Like, how does that even work? I guess I'm gonna say goodbye, cause that's it to everything. I hope I covered everything. If I didn't, please leave me questions in the comments below and I will answer them, of course. Yeah, I just hope that all of you are happy, safe, and healthy, and I hope that all of you know how perfect you are in every single shape, way, and form. You are gorgeous, you are magnificent, you are beautiful from the inside out, you are intelligent, you are just all the good things in the world. And I hope that you are just having a fantastic day, a fantastic week, a fantastic month, a fantastic year, and you are being as fantastic as always. Bye guys!